Welcome once again to Noah Snark, where two former religious types and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
I'm Hillary.
And I am Josh, a.k.a. Whoa!
Yes!
So, Hillary, given that little hint, what are we doing today?
We are watching a movie called Saved by Grace featuring Joey Lawrence of Blossom fame, which is what you were referencing just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saved by Grace is a Thanksgiving film meant to inspire us.
It's a Thanksgiving... Oh, it is a Thanksgiving film.
Yeah.
It's a deeply Thanksgiving film.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to be clear about as far as Christian Thanksgiving movies goes, impossible. I looked for so many. I had to try. I found a list, right? Like the best Christian Thanksgiving movies. Like 2 of the 5 on the list were not even Thanksgiving movies; they were Christmas movies.
Really?
It's like, how hard is this?
Seems like they should be more, because
I would think so.
You know, like the Puritans.
Yeah, but like
the Puritans right before they ruined an entire country.
I don't understand it. But like Kat said on the Tribulation Trail episode, I guess if they showed the real story of Thanksgiving, it would not be Christian friendly because it involves a lot of murder.
No. Family-themed Christian movie based on Thanksgiving seems like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucrative.
It's just one of those things that they apparently haven't made a lot about.
All right.
But, we'll get there.
I'm fine with it. I think it's a garbage holiday.
It's the worst holiday.
I feel bad. My mom...
By now, we've said the point so many times.
Have we?
We did it at least on Facing the Giants.
Oh, you're probably right, yeah.
It's just, it's the worst holiday.
It's the worst holiday.
But let's move on to this movie. It's like you said, Joey Lawrence. But let's describe it in one sentence.
Okay, my one sentence would be... Pause for dramatic effect. A pushy hitchhiker oversteps her boundaries and gets rewarded for it.
Mine is, what if everyone was insane and nothing happened for any reason, but that was all part of the plan?
That's so good.
And you'll see as we talk about this movie. Obviously, you've seen it.
Yeah.
The audience will see as we talk about it just what I'm talking about.
Yes, both of us are very accurate.
Yeah, they're both good. So let's just cut straight to it.
Okay.
Our opening shot is a logo for the company who made the movie. This is from Inspired Family Entertainment. But I swear to you, on first sight, I saw Insipid. I was like, Insipid Family Inspired, okay.
Intrepid Family Entertainment.
So, that was off to a good start already.
Yeah.
I thought Insipid. I was like, okay. Right away, we open to Joey Lawrence coming home from cop work. And he calls out to his wife, who he finds in his kitchen with a gun pointed at her by James, who is familiar with Joey Lawrence. Mm-hmm. I don't care what his real name is in this movie. His name is Joey Lawrence because he's fucking
We're calling him Joey Lawrence. I do not care about anything else.
James, the gunman, is coughing and says that he has cancer. And he wants to kill Joey's wife, so Joey knows what it's like to die cold and alone just like he's going to. Like a timer, I guess, she was cooking goes off.
Yeah. And
it distracts him for just a second, so Joey rushes in and he tries to take the gun away. The gun goes off and the screen fades to black. We will be shocked to find out that Joey's wife is a corpse now.
Yep.
Shocked, I tell you.
Yes. Cut to Joey drinking a beer, so you know everything's bad.
Right. No Christian movie mom ever lives. It just doesn't, it's not allowed.
No one drinks beer or alcohol unless they're severely depressed or...
An alcoholic. Alcoholics have 1 beer.
Yeah.
A day.
Right.
That's how alcoholics
That's how you know his life's gone to hell.
Right. He has a beer while he's watching football.
He's watching the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh, yeah, he is.
It makes you so happy.
He's invited to watch football.
Correct. And he turns it down to watch the parade, as I would also do with a beer.
Right.
I'm like, get out of my house. I'm missing the best parts.
Mm-hmm. So, insipid music does play as a fellow cop drives to Joey's place. This is the captain. And this is the only scene he's going to be in.
Yep.
But he is played by the same cop that was from Seventh Heaven.
What?
Black guy with the, flat cut and the sort of square head.
He was in Seventh Heaven?
Yeah, he was the cop in one of the episodes we watched.
I thought he looked familiar, but I didn't look into it at all.
In the Muslim girl episode we watched.
Oh,
he was the cop in
okay.
that.
Gotcha. Right on.
Joey drinks now, like you said, because he's sad. And the captain checks up on him. He has no plans for Thanksgiving, but he is going to watch this parade while he drinks alone. And it's been 5 years since his wife died.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. 5 years of drinking beers, and he looks just as fit as he was before.
We then get a flashback back to the first scene, because it was such a pressing mystery that we couldn't wait 5 minutes before we had to resolve it. Yes, it has actually been 5 minutes, I counted.
Ah.
I was like, how long has it been since the opening scene and this where they show us the flashback?
Right.
5 actual minutes.
And that's one of several flashbacks.
Oh, it's not the last
same
one.
Exact scene.
So a few things we do now know. It was actually Thanksgiving when his wife got shot. Joey took a bullet too, which is why he limps around. And it's also Thanksgiving today, so it's been 5 years, even though Thanksgiving's not always the same day, so it's not actually the day of. Who knows?
Thanksgiving is what he considers to be the anniversary of her death.
But I don't know if they're trying to say it's just Thanksgiving, or if it's very specifically 5 years to the day.
I have no idea. Well, 5 Thanksgivings ago, I think is what they're...
Yeah.
I think that has to be what they're saying.
That seems to be the only thing that makes sense.
Right.
But they literally showed the date as November 22nd or something. Mm. I might be thinking of what it is this year, but it's just, they show it, the date specifically. Joey is invited to dinner with the captain and his family, but he shrugs it off because he can't whip around all day if someone else is around. Upstairs, Joey is looking through some of his stuff, and he looks at his revolver that he keeps in a box, as though he's thinking about using it. Mm-hmm. And he now listens to his answering machine, where his mother has left a message, and he sees a vision of his dead wife holding a turkey. It's all very, very sad. Were you, at this point, just like, oh, poor Joey?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
But we go outside. Joey's leaving.
He's not good at the emotions either, so I didn't see or feel anything from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go outside because Joey's leaving the house, and there's an old man going through Joey's trash, and he ropes him into a conversation about Jesus and being thankful.
Yeah, we've just, we are now experiencing the very first moment of my complete agitation. Mm-hmm. I'm so irritated at this man and this scene, and it gets only worse from here.
Yeah, Joey tries to give him a little money. He's like, I got everything I need. I got Jesus.
Yeah.
Joey's like, I don't...
Well, then get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, right. He's like, I don't care.
He blocks his driveway. He's blocking his driveway to rifle through his trash, which is like, fine, yeah, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Totally fine. Don't block the man into his house, refuse money from him, and then preach at him.
Mm-hmm. When told God never lets us down by the homeless guy, Joey goes to the old canard about, never getting more than we can handle.
Yep. He says it kind of sarcastically, and the guy's like, that's alright.
Right. And then he gets
my wife's dead. I wish he'd just screamed that.
And then he gets in the car and he says to himself, what happens if it is more than we can handle? And we're supposed to be feeling emotions. Right. But really, at this point, we should be on Joey's side because this guy was annoying.
I am on Joey's side.
Like, get the fuck out of my driveway.
Oh,
You don't want my money, that's fine.
Livid. People infiltrating themselves in my life in that way makes me irrationally angry.
Yeah. But Joey is now going to drive through the countryside very solemnly, and he eventually comes across a hitchhiker. But he passes her by as he heads to a section of the woods where he can see a bridge. This is apparently the bridge where he proposed.
We get a flashback.
And he's here to kill himself. Because the movie would be very short and significantly more satisfying if he did it, he does not.
Yeah, unfortunately.
As he puts the gun to his head, the hitchhiker knocks on his car window and interrupts.
Yeah.
No, and this is part of your one sentence.
Yeah.
She's clearly overstepping her bounds because...
Oh my god. He drove by her.
He drove by her.
Already. And it was a while back, so
yeah, she had to...
jogged to him. Right. Seemingly difficult. Like, it's hard for her to walk with her luggage, and she somehow managed to make it to him, wherever he parked, pretty quickly. And then, yeah.
Even if we assume he didn't drive too far into the woods...
Right.
He drove around the corner... and then clearly through the forest.
Right.
And first off, how did she track him? Secondly, why did she track him?
My first thought, this is not a human. This is probably an angel of some sort.
100%. There was definitely
something supernaturally.
There was definitely a spiritual component to her.
Right.
In the very beginning, at least. So she just knocks on his door, interrupting his suicide. How did she not notice that he has a gun in his...
gun in his hand, he's surrounded by pictures of his wife.
Right.
It's a weird situation for her to not even acknowledge.
But she says that she needs to borrow his phone. But he doesn't have a cell phone with him because he's about to shoot himself.
Right.
He's not willing to take her back to town or anything due to the pending suicide. But she has softened him ever so slightly. And he does eventually pick her up. And this woman is not suspicious at all about the man that she tracked down into the woods and was sitting in his truck silently.
With a gun?
With a gun in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah, that's just, oh god, everything about this woman irritates me.
She's like, sure, I'll take a ride from this guy.
She's like, oh, yeah, thank you. And just throws her shit at his car and jumps on in the back seat, so he's her chauffeur.
But she asks him to take her home, and he agrees, and she promises the Lord is going to bless him for this. Joey's still cynical, understandably, especially because she's crazy.
She starts preachy. She's preachy with everything she says.
Mm-hmm. And the hitchhiker finds his old badge and introduces herself as Graciela. Or Grace.
Grace. Yeah.
Get it? Get it? Saved by Grace?
I know.
If you didn't know what was going to happen in this movie...
The name is in the title.
If you didn't know what was going to happen in this movie, you're going to know real soon.
Yep.
So,
she's lucky she's real pretty.
Yeah.
That's literally it. That's the only reason he let her in that car.
So he has to take her clear to the other side of town. And it is entirely unclear how she got to this side of town with all this luggage.
Yeah, you think
while
that's going to
being
be
so stupid.
Explained.
It's never
Spoiler alert, it never is. It's never explained why she's on the side of the road in a nice outfit with like one thing of luggage trying to get to the other side of town to see her family.
Like, how did she get here? Why do you have luggage?
I know.
Who dropped you here?
How long have you been walking? Where did you come from?
But she monologues a little in the back seat. And were I Joey, I'd kick her out for not shutting the hell up. He clearly wants to just drive in peace.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing you a favor,
She's
please be
wedged
quiet.
herself into his day and his life and will not shut up.
But this apparently is quite the drive because she has time to fall asleep before they even get to where they're going.
Yeah.
Which, again, how long is this ride and how does she get to the other side of town?
And she
if it takes her at least, let's say she's asleep for 10 minutes, right?
Right.
This means this is a 20-minute drive. They're not even there yet.
And she does not acknowledge how much of a burden she's putting on him.
Right. And we don't know how long she slept. It could have been an hour.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get there?
What is happening?
This movie makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't get better, Josh.
Oh, God, I know. But she wakes up and she asks him if he's a man of faith. And he doesn't think much about it, in his own words. She doesn't know how anyone can get through all of it without the hope that there's something bigger, some purpose to it all. Ugh. And I literally wrote down here, ugh, Grace, stop.
Yeah, I'm just shut up. I was
quiet.
Talking to my television, like, shut the fuck up.
And Joey feels like
Stop
we do.
rifling through his stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
But Joey clearly feels like we do because he is annoyed with her talking. But she defends herself by saying that something is prompting her to just keep talking and she can't stop even if she wanted.
It's not my fault I'm annoying. God made me this way.
Right. Now she has him pull into a random location and stop the car. And she goes from here to walk into an empty school while he follows her trying to get her the fuck out of the school.
Yeah.
Because
she bolts from the car, doesn't say anything to him, just goes running into this building. He's chasing after her. He's like, that's breaking and entering. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Come back. And she ignores him. And she's like, I'm just going to go in here. Like, this dude stopped his entire day to help you get somewhere.
And you're going to waste his time going into a school.
Oh, I was so angry.
She is entirely too cavalier about someone else's time.
No, exactly. Like, so disrespectful.
But to compound that fact...
this is supposed to be charming. This is supposed to be like a charming, like... She's basically like a Hispanic manic pixie dream girl.
Mm-hmm. But to compound the facts, she drags him near the pool, and then tells a really boring story of her winning a race for qualifiers in finals.
Cool story, bro.
And her dad was in the audience, so now we're into her daddy issues, because he had already packed up all of his things and left shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm. The last time she saw her dad was in that swimming pool. Okay.
And, like, in her own words, she says it right here, I don't even know why I'm sharing this with you. Why are anybody sharing us with this?
Nobody knows. We don't know.
Dear writers of this movie, and writers all around the world, that line of, I don't even know why I'm doing this, is not carte blanche to just keep doing it.
True.
You don't get a pass for doing dumb shit in your script.
That does not
with the line of, I don't even know why I'm behaving this manner. Like, find a way to explain it.
Right.
Or change your entire movie.
That doesn't count as character development. She's not being self-aware in that moment.
And, like, if you're supposed to be thinking, like, God is making all this happen, you gotta give me a more explicit message than, I don't know why, I guess it's just gonna work.
Yeah, and also God did not make them, they're on the way home, of course they're gonna pass her high school.
Yeah.
Like, making him drive off the side of the road so that you can go, revisit your youth is unfair and unkind.
Here's a great example that would have been suitable. What if his car just suddenly breaks down?
Oh, what if, Josh?
And then they're like, oh man, where are we? Oh, that old high school. Well, it's not good.
It's not
better
good.
than this.
Or, yeah, it's like raining, they're trapped.
Yeah.
They run inside.
Just
It's
literally
like, oh, fuck,
any
this
reason.
is my old high school. I used to swim here.
Yeah. Just any reason that's not her acting like an insane person and him going along with her insanity.
Right.
Okay.
Not charming.
But yeah, I was going to say, you have to, at some point, explain why Grace keeps running her mouth or telling Joey about her deep personal trauma. You can't just say, I don't know why, and then move on as though nothing happened.
Right.
If at some point it's not revealed that God is the master puppet master.
Master puppet master?
Yeah, the master puppet master of this entire day. So help me. I will find you. But we're back in the car, and Grace grabs Joey's gun, where he keeps his gun, the one he was going to shoot himself with. And she almost opens it, but he stops her.
Well, the box. She doesn't grab the gun. She grabs the box.
That's what I meant, yes. She has the box.
Yeah.
And she gets the idea that she should leave now.
This is the weirdest fucking scene. She goes to, like, pick up the box, and he's like, no, I got it. She's like, no, you can trust me. I'm like, it's not your box, bitch. Well, you don't know what's in there. You don't know him.
And she was opening it first. She was, like, started.
She starts opening this box that he's clearly uncomfortable with her handling, and then she acts all hurt that this stranger who's doing this favor for her won't let her rifle through his stuff. Just incorrigible.
Yeah. But then she gets this idea now. She's like, oh, I think I should leave. And now he's the one continuing this idiotic situation for no reason.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, no, don't go. It's going to be fine.
You can hold my secret box. Weird.
I just want to slap both of these people.
Agreed.
But she finally manages to get him smile, and she's totally shocked by it.
Oh my god, and then she does that, you should smile more, you look so good when you smile. And like, if you're not going to get punched before, you're getting punched now. And
she makes a really awful joke to double down on it. Do you remember what this was?
No.
A smile is like tight underwear.
Oh god, yes.
It makes your cheeks go up.
Fuck her.
The joke stuck so bad that Joey almost runs over the homeless guy from earlier. But instead, he just knocks over his cart.
Right.
He gets out and checks on the guy.
They're on the other side of townish now, right?
Yeah. So this is a magical teleporting homeless guy.
This guy has got some distance with that cart.
Mm-hmm. So the homeless guy gets his cart run over. Joey runs out to check on him, but he's nonplussed by the fact that he almost died.
Yep.
Joey even tells half a joke.
Yeah, because the guy's like, what does he say about, he's like, God, well, it's like, we're all where we're supposed to be. We're all, like, we're all where we're supposed to be right here in this moment. He goes, well, maybe except for your cart. And the guy's like, that was good.
Yeah.
Look at that joke.
Mm-hmm. And the homeless guy talks about how much he misses Joey's wife, who used to volunteer at the shelter that he apparently hangs out at sometimes. So they share a little touching moment, I guess, where I mostly zoned out.
Yeah, me too.
And Joey is slightly shook by this experience. He's like, he knew my wife. What a mystery. How could anyone know my wife?
And he knew his son.
Oh,
bum, bum, bum.
He has a son. Now, we did kind of know this, because in the opening scene, he'd said, like, the kid is out playing or whatever.
Right.
But I
didn't realize that until they played that scene again later.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm watching the same scene again, and he mentions that his son's around the corner or something like that, but I totally missed that the first time.
But he does have a son. Joey begins to understand that there is some good in people, even homeless people, which is a really weird stance for this movie to take.
It really was.
Because I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I guess some people are okay. Even that worthless homeless guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I was like,
wow, what a moment of,
You're a real solid guy, Joey. You just found out that not all homeless people are garbage.
After the homeless guy gives him his son's baseball glove, which was that coming... Like, he has this baseball glove, he's like, I've been meaning to give this back, your son left it.
Yeah.
And then, like, in the car, like, Joey says something to the effect of, I never liked it. I never not liked that Luke was spending time at the homeless shelter with all that riffraff.
And his wife.
Yeah. But I guess, maybe they're not all bad. Like, oh, yeah. You don't say.
Like, what?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I guess it's kind of amusing that Joey's a cop. I guess no one should be surprised.
Right.
That the character who's the cop just thinks some people are garbage. We can just treat them however we want. They're shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the cops as heroes thing is another trope of these movies.
Yeah, but it doesn't...
All cops are good guys.
Yeah. Except Joey, he's apparently garbage. Because again...
Not from the...
Until now.
Not from this point of view.
Until now, he thought homeless people were worthless.
He's the hero of this movie, Josh. He's the protagonist.
Man, we're gonna get there, but I do not see how anyone can root for this guy.
I don't either.
Okay. This conversation leads to him telling the story of how his wife got killed. This is to Grace. Mm-hmm. About how his wife got killed as a result of him solving a case involving a guy who was a drug trafficker. This is James, the guy from the very first scene. Mm-hmm. In jail, he got cancer. And then he was moved to a hospital where he then escaped and he went to kill Joey's wife, just like he said in that first scene. And the thing about Joey and how sad he is that he had just purchased tickets for them for a big trip to Paris. And we now have to watch that first scene all over again, but in full this time. And the question I have is, if we're going to show it so many times, over and over again...
start where it left off.
You can start where it left off. You don't have to show it to us in the first place.
Right.
This movie wouldn't be that different if they skipped that in the beginning and just did flashbacks later.
Right.
Like, imagine the first scene is the one that's right after, where Joey is sad in his house and he's limping around.
Yeah.
He's drinking beer and watching the parade, and his friend comes over. That would also be a fine first scene. That's a fine
starting point,
especially since we have to watch this flashback 3 or 4 times.
Over and over again.
You could just show it to us later, and it would make sense for earlier. But, I'm not trying to Monday morning quarterback your movie, except you could clearly use somebody.
This was a 90-minute movie that could have been 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. It should have been 10 minutes, because Joey shoots himself in the first scene.
You're absolutely right.
And we're done.
We wouldn't have had to deal with Grace.
Okay. Everyone in the room catches a bullet is what we learn from the full flashback, and his wife makes him promise with her dying words that he will let Luke, his son, know how much he loves him.
Which is a weird thing, because does that mean up to this point he hasn't really been showing love to his son? Because that's what it seems like.
That's what it sounds like.
Because it's not like, keep loving your son. It's like, hey, you should probably try to let Luke know you love him.
Yeah. And we're going to find out. It hasn't gone well.
It has not. That one promise
he did not
deliver on.
But he blames himself for everything that happened. He failed as a cop. He failed as a husband. He's failed as a father.
True.
And we don't know what's going on with his son exactly. But the message from his mom earlier implied that the kid is with her. When he was listening to his messages from his mom, she was like, Luke's here, or...
Yeah.
And, hoping you'll come by for Thanksgiving.
Right. Speaking of him not being a cop anymore, are they allowed to keep their badges?
I think your badge is... I don't know.
I don't think you do.
Is he not a cop? That's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah, because later on, like, oh, you're a cop. I was a cop, or something like that. But he still has his badge, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to hold on to. Yeah.
It's really why you turn it in, so you can't use it to, be an authority.
That's why they make such a big deal of it when they're like, turn in your badge and you're good.
And that's probably just a movie thing?
Yeah, but still,
you probably...
I don't think you get to retire with your...
Like, I doubt anyone... It's very rare someone's actually said turn in your badge and gun.
Right.
But they definitely say, you can't have that, because you can't not be a cop and then have a badge, because it lets you do stuff that people can't do.
Right. You don't have this authority anymore, and this represents authority.
Like... rapists who pretend to be cops have fake badges.
Yep.
And they get away with it because of the fake badges.
There's a reason impersonating a cop is such a steep penalty.
Right. So, yeah, he should not have this.
No.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Of all the various problems with this movie, that's not...
I hung on that for a second.
Yeah, I get that. But somehow it doesn't even hit top 10, I think.
No, it doesn't. You're right. If I was going to create a hierarchy.
Okay. So Grace now makes the car stop again. And this time she goes into a dance studio, breaking and entering again.
Yep.
Joey does very little to stop her. And now she has to tell the story of how her husband, who we have to assume is also dead, proposed on their first date, and that they learned to dance and wowed everyone.
That wasn't a red flag to her.
And they learned to dance here at the studio, and they wowed everyone at their wedding. And Joey is the one who says that last part, because he's being a little snide. She's telling the story, and he's like, yeah, and you learned to dance in this studio, and then you wowed everyone at your wedding. And she gets a little upset about it, because he is being a bit of a dick. But he does also point out that she's not the only one with special moments, and that he also learned how to dance here too, and they also wowed everyone at their wedding.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up, Grace. It's not all about you all the time.
And then he says, and we swore to never stop dancing, but your God took my wife away, and now we'll never dance again, while you get to have a family and be happy.
And this sort of wish was like, I'm never gonna dance again. I needed my George Michael to softly come into this scene.
But yeah, so she has a family and gets to be happy while he's got nothing. And she doesn't correct him, but as the audience, we obviously know that her husband and or entire family is dead.
We don't know anything, yeah,
right. But it was very obvious.
It's clear there's sadness here. Right. There's a lot of death, probably.
That's why because I wrote this in real time, so I wrote and or entire family. I know her husband's dead. That's not a question for me.
Right, we find out later. But
I'm just wondering if her whole family's dead. And I believe they were. Now, her and Joey do reconcile a little bit, because he did call her out rightly.
Yes.
For being pretty self-centered.
Yes.
He wasn't the thing is, they're both wrong. Because he was being a dick, but she was being inconsiderate.
Yeah.
So he was a dick because...
They shouldn't even be in that studio right now.
They shouldn't be here.
They should still be en route to the place that he said he'd take her.
Right. And then she gets all upset that he was being kind of a dick, but she wasn't accounting for his feelings in the first place. She hasn't this entire movie.
Right.
So
Just like the other time she gets upset when she was not respecting him or his belongings. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, I hate both of these people.
I fucking hate them. I hate them. Especially her, though. She's the worst.
But they reconcile a bit. They get back along. And she encourages him that those moments that he'll never get again was all part of God's great plan. And this reminds me of one of my favorite fun facts.
Go on.
For most people, the absolute best case scenario that you can do is to find the perfect person for you while you're young. Mm-hmm. Get married to your best friend, and then have, let's say, 80 years of pure wedded bliss. Then your best friend dies.
Yeah.
And that's your absolute best case you can ever possibly hope for.
Yeah.
Man, life fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I said that once in a group.
Well, sometimes you can hope that you die first.
Yeah. If that's what you want to do.
Hope. Yeah.
But it was just I said it in a group of people, and one of the guys was married. He said, Jesus!
That's literally it.
He's like, God damn it, really?
Our mission.
Yeah, it's just kind of fucked up when you think about it like that. When you think about life as it really is.
Right.
Like, God, man, how? Why?
Suffering.
Yeah.
Moments of happiness.
But anyway, we also get another flashback of Joey and his wife dancing. Although this is not a flashback of them dancing right before she got shot on Turkey Day.
No.
It's just general dancing.
Right.
So that's something. He and Grace also dance in real life, and it gets really intimate, and this movie is really fucking weird.
So fun. It's weirdly romantic.
One, he just said that she has a husband.
Yeah.
And now he's dancing with her, and
She didn't say her husband's dead.
Right.
She said she had a husband that she learned to dance with.
He still thinks that she has a husband.
And they get intimate.
They are an inch from each other?
I think a full-on sex scene would be less intimate.
That's true.
Right?
They could just fuck and not actually kiss.
Right, that would be carnal. This was some weird love connection thing and gentle touching, and it made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is a really strange movie.
Yeah.
But they're walking now.
Yeah, and he's doing that thing where he's like, should I touch her? And he puts his hand on her lower back. I'm like, I am so unhappy.
Mm-hmm. But he gets into it real quick.
I know.
Because once he gets that lower back, he's like, all right, whole body, I'm going to touch it.
From there on, they're always touching, and I hate it.
So they're walking on foot now, because Grace is clearly delaying trying to go home. She's eventually roped into telling the horrible story of when her son accidentally drowned.
Oh, they're walking because his car broke down.
Did it?
Yeah. His truck broke down.
I thought she just stopped it and didn't go back in it or
something.
No,
they the next scene is them. He's like, well, that's it. The car's broken down. And then he because he was looking in the engine. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah.
I guess he did hit a guy.
Well, apparently it was a piece of shit car anyway. But it just the car broke down, and she's like, well, let's just walk. He's like, walk? How far are we going? Blah blah blah. And then she grabs her purse, but not the luggage that she had thrown in there. Mm-hmm. She grabs her purse and she grabs his son's baseball glove and puts it in her purse. And you're like, I know this is probably going to come back and be really sweet and she does something with it, but fuck you! Stop touching his stuff!
Stop taking all of his shit!
Right, I don't care what your intentions are. You're being a creepo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, they are walking now, without her luggage, and But
whatever. she is goaded into telling the horrible story about how her son accidentally drowned while her husband was away at a meaningless war.
And this is why she couldn't go down the street that would be the fastest route to her family.
Right.
And then you had to take a long way because she didn't want to walk by the house that her
son died in. Yeah.
Right.
But you see, they're similar. Both of them lost a loved one, and they both blame themselves. But she assures Joey one more time that God has a plan. And that plan is apparently getting busy with Grace while thinking about your dead wife.
Yep. Sexy.
Sexy God plans. There's an entire half hour left of this movie. And I was struggling.
I was so bored.
It's weirdly boring and infuriating at the same time.
The only emotions it gave me was absolute anger.
Mm-hmm. But they continue walking, and we cut to Joey's mom's house with his apparently teenage son, Luke. They have a very awkward dinner with just the two of them, despite her having set a place for Joey at their very large table.
Which I guess he's been doing for every meal for 5 years.
I think they say it in the scene.
Yeah.
She does it every year, and he's never showed up.
Right.
To the best of our knowledge, he has not seen his son.
For 5 years.
In 5 years.
Yeah.
That is fucking insane.
It is insane.
But we're going to get there. We're going to address it directly. But for now, let's just be clear.
As best you can. You gotta do... This is you must at least acknowledge your child. Grieve. Get help. Go to therapy. Whatever. Mm-hmm. You gotta talk to your son.
Mm-hmm. At least once every 5 fucking years.
Call him on his birthday, man. Something.
But for me, it was funnier because they're at a pretty large, like, proper dining room table. Mm-hmm. Just 2 people.
Yeah.
And she says the extra places, like, out of a taunt. Like, guess what, kid? Your dad's not here.
Yeah, from her point of view, it's hope. But from his, she's like, he's like, what are you doing to me?
Why would you do this?
Just now I get to stare at this empty plate that represents my absentee father.
It's such a fucking weird movie. Luke is obviously sad that his dad's not around, but this is the first real human motivation anyone in this movie's had. It's Luke. And he's just like, I wish my dad was around.
Yeah.
It's not even that complicated.
Right, no.
But no one else has made any sense.
I think he's the best actor of the whole group.
That's probably true. They talk about Joey maybe one day showing up, and so she always sets an extra place for him, and Luke's given up on his dad not being garbage. He's not even convinced that Joey loves him. So, considering that he pawned him off on his mom and doesn't talk to him at all.
That's a pretty fair assumption.
And it's weird for me, I wrote it down, it's weird to sit here and try or to feel anything or sympathy or want to see Grace and Joey happy when we know that they're just roaming around the city like a couple of assholes while his son waits for him to call knowing it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So his son's like, oh man, I just sure wish I would hear from my dad maybe once every so often. And Joey's just fucking around with Grace.
Dad's making a love connection.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know. Well, he was going to kill himself that morning, so... I mean, I might as well be walking around with a stranger.
That makes more sense than what he's doing now.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, but even now, we switch to a scene where Grace apologizes for leading him around town all day for no reason, and Joey says he has nothing better to do. With his own words.
Yep.
Like, I'm not doing anything anyway.
What he's really saying is, like, his alternative was murdering himself. So he's like, that was the alternative, so I guess might as well be doing this. But yes.
What the real alternative is.
The choice of this scene coming right after watching his son miss his dad.
Exactly.
He's like, I got nothing else going on.
You're like, what the fuck is you do?
You have so much you could be doing with your life.
Including this scene at all, honestly. This little bit where he's like, I don't have anything to do. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Take the whole thing out.
Mm-hmm.
This is not...
unnecessary.
This is not earning Joey's sympathy in this movie.
No, it's definitely working against him.
And Joey's saying he's got nothing better to do to get home to his fucking family.
Yeah.
They decide to head into a church to get out of the cold.
Yeah, now it's his turn to go break into a place. That and she's acting like he's crazy. We just watched her do this twice.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, how are you even going to get in? And he's going to do the same thing she's done, which is just try the door.
They jiggle the door, and God lets them in.
But now we get to hear about their experiences with the church. She hasn't been in a church in a while, unexpectedly. And Joey hasn't for a while either, because he only went for his wife and son.
Right.
Now that she's gone, he doesn't have to do it anymore. Grace offers more empty religious platitudes, and she wants to say a prayer before they go. And Joey watches on, and he's so emotionally and spiritually moved by the kind word that she has to say about him, and the prayer that she says for him. It's just, he's like, oh, I'm a little teary, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Once they leave, Joey actually stops, and he goes back inside to get her purse, and he notices something that blows his freaking mind, and it inspires him to call out to God himself and ask him for help.
And it wasn't the baseball glove in her purse, because that's what I thought was about to happen. Mm-hmm. Is he's like, why the fuck do you have my son's baseball glove in your purse? But nope.
Yeah, when he is done with the prayer, the camera pans down to see that it is a bullet that Grace put on the altar while she was praying. So apparently, as you've been saying, she's gone through his stuff.
Yeah.
She opened the box and realized that he was probably trying to kill himself, even though he asked her not to do that.
Yep.
Specifically.
He told her that, like, that there's a lot of personal things in there. Mm-hmm. Respect that.
Yes. But she looked inside, she got the bullet, she was praying for him, and now she's going to try to take him back to his mom's house so that he will see his son. And he is going to try to convince her that it's not a good time for that.
Yeah.
So now we see the old ball field where Joey used to play Little League. And he's so nostalgic, and I just want his tour of bullshit to end.
Yeah, don't care.
But Joey points out that he drives by every day and sees his son, but he doesn't actually talk to him, so the kid doesn't know that he cares about him even a little bit, and will almost certainly have permanent psychological damage.
Selfish bastard. So he has seen his son, in his own words.
He just hasn't
it's like, I've seen my son. He just didn't know.
Yeah. Like, he just doesn't know I see him.
How is that? That's worse.
That's actually worse.
Feel worse?
Yeah,
like
100%.
he gets to see his son, but his son doesn't get to see him.
Every so often his son looks around, Dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, not Dad. Damn.
Just watching his kid be bullied in the schoolyard.
This kid is going to develop a habit.
Yeah.
And he's going to be dead by 30.
100%.
And it's Joey's fault.
It is Joey's fault.
I don't want the kid dead. The kid clearly didn't do anything.
The kid's smarter than his dad.
And less garbage than his dad.
Yep.
But he has no hope at this point. He was just abandoned for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're not done yet. This is not the end of this movie.
His mom was murdered, and then his dad left him.
With his mom. Just to be sad in his own house.
Yeah, so he can have a
They can't even be sad in the same house together.
Yeah. Whatever. I hate him. There is no protagonist of this movie.
Grace tells Joey that he needs to get his shit together and go talk to his son and tell him that he loves him. And Joey seems largely convinced. And I'll do anything if he'll just go do it and this can end.
Yeah.
I'm happy, fine. Grace, for her part, finally confirms that her parents have died, and she leads him back to his mom's house so that Joey can see his goddamn son. Now, he resists.
Also, how does she know where they live?
That's a good question.
This is where I was like, okay, she is going to be like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be something supernatural. Because she led him on foot to his mom's house.
Yeah, to his mom's house.
Yeah, and nobody questioned it. He's not like, what? How did you know? Or anything. He's just like, oh man, I'm
here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, she's like, you gotta go inside. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but he is resistant, but he does go inside with her, as long as she'll hold his hand. Because they have some sort of weird emotional connection. That's what this movie's about.
They're dating now, I guess.
Apparently. So Mom is flabbergasted that he's arrived, and she is so very happy. And she's excited to meet Grace, too, because she obviously thinks that this is his girlfriend.
Right, as one would. They're holding hands coming to the house for the first time in 5 years. She's seeing her son. There's a pretty lady with him.
And she's like, oh, how long have you two been together? And it's, ha 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 ha. What time did we meet? Was it noon?
You're fucked up.
And the mom's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is great.
Whatever, you're here.
Yeah. So as they eat, Luke the son comes down and he sees his dad and he's hesitant to talk to him because he hasn't seen him in 5 years. And he's pissed off, as I think he should be.
Yeah.
And it isn't interested at all in hugging it out with his deadbeat dad.
Yeah, good. Cool.
He says, I'll see you in another 5 years. And we're supposed to feel sympathy at this point for Joey.
Yeah, no. I
But
feel a lot
happening.
of sympathy for the son.
Right. But I'm not feeling bad for Joey.
No.
He, looks sad, and there's sad music, and we're
This
like,
is what I thought would
poor...
happen. I knew he'd hate me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you've been gone for 5 years.
You deserve to be hated. Accept that.
Mom says that he just needs time, just like Joey did, which is the only reasonable advice anyone gives in this movie.
True.
But Luke goes to his room and he listens to some tunes with some earphones on, while Joey sneaks his way upstairs. Because while he needed 5 fucking years to see his son again,
he's not going to give his son 5 goddamn minutes.
Right. Because Joey is a selfish prick.
Yeah. He met the perfect woman.
Yeah, they're good for each other.
They are.
Now, Joey apologizes for being a shit dad and says to Luke that he's not going anywhere again. So, gee, thanks.
Cool.
Done me a real solid here, Dad. Thanks.
I have no reason not to trust you.
I literally went through puberty without you.
Grandma taught me to shave.
You know how awkward it was? That's my grandma about the body hair.
Yeah.
I thought I was dying. Joey goes back downstairs to take Grace home, and she takes him to a cemetery. And she introduces him to the gravestones of her husband and child. And I fucking called it because it was incredibly obvious.
It was super obvious, but also why are you being cryptic about this? Why is everything oh, I'm going to surprise him. This whole time my family's been dead. You've been, trying to be, emotionally open, kind of, but, also being, withholding in a weird way.
It's the strangest fucking movie, man.
Right.
I don't understand it one bit.
I hate it, Josh. So, she was trying to hitchhike to go to the cemetery, essentially.
Right.
From God knows where. And where was she going to stay? Like, she doesn't know anybody that lives in the neighborhood anymore. So once she got there, was she just, like, hoping she'd have, like, forced her way into somebody's life hard enough that they'll let her sleep on the couch? Like, what was the end game? She doesn't have a car to leave the cemetery. Was she sleeping at the cemetery? I hate her.
Yeah. But her husband also died 5 years ago. Just like Joey's wife.
Coincidence?
So it's a sign that everything that's happened was supposed to happen. And Joey knows now that this was God.
Yep. Yeah.
Holy forkin' shirt balls.
I love that show.
It's fantastic.
It is.
The drama is heavy-handed, and the revelations are underwhelming. And now Joey kisses her, because of course.
And we're supposed to be like, oh, finally, they're kissing.
Oh, they kiss in the graveyard over her husband's
their
corpse.
hands were already kissing when they were dancing, and it was awkward and awful.
It's also strange to kiss somebody over the corpses of her family.
Her dead husband.
And child.
Right there.
Just 6
Make
feet
now.
underneath them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's time for smooching in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are fucking weird.
Yeah, no.
This is not high school, and you're not both wearing black eyeliner. This is not how you...
I know, this, like, I was like, this is like... Heather's would be like the goth version of this movie. Mm-hmm. It's like Christian Slater comes in. Mm-hmm. They have some weird emotional connection out of nowhere. They're both pretty garbage people. Mm-hmm. They go on a killing spree. These two, I can see the same thing happening, but going on some weird preachy tour.
Preachy spree.
Yeah, preachy spree.
I abandoned my son for 5 years until I met Grace, and she saved
Her
the
whole
world.
family died. My family died. I
5
abandoned
years
my
ago.
son.
Weird.
Yeah. I was gonna kill myself. Now
It's
we're good.
Now we kiss and stuff.
Yeah.
So back on the bridge, where he had initially come to kill himself, we're cutting forward a few years probably, he talks to his wife about his new boo thing, Grace, and how they're doing just great, and he knows that she's been watching out for him the whole time. And he says, thanks, dead wife angel. Yep. I'm gonna go play catch with our son. The sap is draining the life out of me.
Unbearable.
I hate it so much. But we cut to him playing catch with Luke, and Grace and Mom watch over, and it's finally over, and holy shit.
I hated this.
The movie's over.
Every single minute of this was unbearable.
Every single person in this was unbearable, except for Luke.
Right.
He's the only one who had anything...
He gets, like, no screen time.
Yeah, he's the only one who had anything resembling an actual human personality.
Yeah, a reaction to things.
A reaction to things. He's the only one who made any sense.
Yep.
Why he's upset is the only thing that makes sense in this movie.
Yeah.
Joey being upset his wife's dead, that's fine. But what are you're just gonna, you're gonna abandon your son?
Right.
Your mom? Grace is insane, obviously.
Insane.
She's a crazy person, and she's not an angel.
No. There's no supernatural element. She just happened to know where his mom lived. And can move at super fast speeds.
I mean, like, they did talk about it in the church, but why would he tell her?
No, he did not tell her.
I don't think he told her.
Why would she know the exact house?
Yeah. And then he thinks that seeing his son in secret every day is the same thing as actually seeing him. Okay, I watched him grow up. I see him.
You haven't seen your son in 5 years. Oh no, I've seen him. Okay.
just
way to be literal about it.
Right. Like, I'm technically true. That's the best kind of true.
Yeah. I've been watching him from the tree outside of school.
I built
with
a
my
tiny,
binoculars.
creepy little treehouse in his backyard, and I watch him sleep.
I have a disguise. He thinks I'm the janitor.
I'm his fucking math teacher. I teach him math. I wear a mustache. I'm in blackface, so he doesn't know it's me.
He thinks I have a crush on him. He doesn't understand my attention.
It's such a fucking nonsense movie. And somehow we have to try to find the best and worst out of it.
Okay. Now, we know the worst is... Actually, both of us a struggle. Narrowing it down to one worst. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing worse than the entire character of Grace.
Yeah.
The first time she opens her mouth, I am irritated. And she gets worse and worse as it goes on, and she's supposed to be... Literally, she's supposed to be... saved by Grace. This movie is setting it up to where she saves him somehow.
Yeah.
When really she is the most presumptive and disrespectful person I've ever seen put in that position in a movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's my worst.
The worst for me is gonna be the revelations of the movie.
Yeah.
Every time they tried to tell us something we didn't know. It was like, oh, what a shock. You really got me on that one. Damn, I didn't see that coming.
No, you don't say. They're dead.
Her husband died? Oh, man. What a shocker. Your kid died? Man.
Ugh. They were relieved of a life with you.
She's very lucky she's
That's
cute.
the blessing.
Because she's so fucking
That is the
terrible.
blessing of this whole movie, is that her family died before they had to live out the rest of their lives with her.
Now, what was the best thing about this movie?
Best thing about this movie would be trying to reach for something that's even kind of interesting, but it's like, we've already said that Luke is the best actor and the only character worth caring about. So I guess it has to be Luke, but there has to be something else. There's not even an outfit I like. Like, I hate her outfit.
Let me think. What would I say is the best thing about this movie? The best thing about this movie is...
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade gets some screen time.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
I found it. I found the glimmer.
I don't know, man.
Take all the time you need.
The best thing about this movie is that
it's only 90 minutes.
you could watch it muted, and Grace is real cute. And she's on screen most of the time.
Joey's a conventionally attractive person.
Yeah,
I
so
could
there you
not
go.
possibly be attracted to him.
Yeah, but you could watch the movie just completely silently and be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, look, it's just two people having a nice walk."
Two attractive people. Yeah.
That's the best.
Smiling
I
at each other a lot.
This movie's absolute shit.
Garbage. I'm grateful it wasn't 2 hours.
I know, it was really brief. This episode's really brief.
What time are we at?
55 minutes.
That makes sense. There's nothing else to say about this.
5 of
garbage.
it was us talking in the beginning, so
Yeah.
we're looking at a 50-minute episode total.
Perfect. It doesn't deserve more than that.
So now let's talk about some things that are like this that are clearly better.
Yes.
I am not good at this. Again, I don't like Thanksgiving. I don't care for it. It sucks.
Right.
But you know what I do like about Thanksgiving?
What?
Charlie Brown specials.
Yeah.
So I think instead of this, you should just watch Charlie Brown Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thanksgiving is the weakest of the three Charlie
it?
Brown holiday ones to me. Like the Halloween one, the Halloween one, and the
Great
Christmas
Pumpkin,
one are the best ones. Thanksgiving is the third best, which
Yeah,
makes it sound bad, but it's still great.
Yeah, it's Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
Charlie Brown's great.
love Charlie Brown.
What's your gonna be?
Well, this movie's called Saved by Grace.
Yes.
There was a movie made in 2000 called Saving Grace.
Oh.
That is a British comedy that is fantastic.
Okay.
And it's about a woman whose husband, I don't know if he commits suicide or if he dies. He jumps out of an airplane without a parachute. I can't remember if it's on purpose or not.
Okay.
But she finds out that he's like racked up a shit ton of debt. She's like in foreclosure. Everything is terrible. So she ends up growing weed with her gardener in her back, in her greenhouse and selling weed. And she's like this middle-aged woman, really cute. She smokes weed for the first time with her gardener, who's played by Craig Ferguson.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, very good.
So this is like Weeds before Weeds.
Yeah, it is. It's before Weeds came out.
It kind of started that whole genre of...
Right, but it was a really small, low-budget
Yeah.
British film, so I don't think they actually
I've heard the
affected
name
each other in
before.
any way. I loved that movie.
I just assume, because like there's kind of a subsection of media of older, usually women, growing weed to
Yeah.
take care of themselves for the first time. And
Yeah.
Weeds was the series that started, but then there's a Netflix series, there's a couple movies.
Yeah.
This might be like...
I'm going to go ahead and say Saving Grace is the best of all of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Watch that, not this.
Yeah, watch Saving Grace, not Saved by Grace, because that movie fucking blows.
Right. Worst movie we've watched so far, I think. Can you think of one you hated more?
Than this one?
Right. I think I'd rather watch The Angry Atheist. And that's hard for me, though.
Oh, man, that might be it for
That
me.
might be the worst one.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, movies go,
Yeah, no,
this
you're
would be
right.
the worst.
We haven't seen many Ray Comfort movies.
Right.
As you saw, because we did 2 in a row, Ray Comfort Things,
You're right.
I definitely get agitated by him.
Me too.
So I will say, in the future, I predict I will hate something more than this.
You're probably right.
Currently? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this has the benefit of it being a fictional character that's intolerable, and he's a real life human who is difficult to look at.
And deal with and listen
Right.
to. Yeah, you're right. But this is possibly the worst movie we've seen. Not production value, it's actually like made on competent equipment.
Yeah,
Unlike
it's not-
Leap.
nothing exciting, boring.
Right, it's
but-
boring, but it's not like hard to see or
Yeah,
anything.
and aside from like the flashbacks being unnecessary and long, and the editing in that regard being shit,
There's nothing technically wrong with it. except everything in it is
The storyline
nonsense.
is very technically wrong. Like, we
That's
don't
what I
know
mean, yeah.
anything. Like, they're not, whatever. We
Yeah,
don't need to
on
talk anymore.
the technicalities of making a film, nothing's wrong.
Agreed.
On the technicalities of writing a story, having characters,
Right,
any
acting.
motivation, a plot, acting,
Right. The music was terrible.
actual tragedy. This
Yes.
movie is.
You're right.
Okay, so let's just move on to what we're doing next week.
Okay.
You ready?
Animated classics.
I'm calling it Animated Classics because Hanukkah stuff is hard to find.
It is.
You noticed.
Uh-huh.
So, we decided to do a story called Maccabees, the story of Hanukkah, which is an animated, basically Bible story, but it's not a Bible story. It's a...
Okay.
And then the Rugrats Hanukkah special.
Yes.
And that's it.
I'm very excited about that.
And part of that is because, again, impossible to find Hanukkah-related
Also,
stuff.
any excuse to watch the Rugrats.
Yeah, that's true. So, we're calling it Animated Classics because they're both animated.
Yeah.
One of them's Rugrats. They're both classics. So it should be short and simple.
Great.
That's it.
I'm into it.
Okay, but remember, if you like the show, please give us some of those 5-star reviews in whatever podcast app or service you are using. And tell your friends about us any way that you can because we need your love and affection and attention and recommendations.
Yeah. We give it back.
Yeah, give it back to me.
Give it back.
Links to everything you might need are in the description of this episode, including our social media. Mm-hmm. On our Instagram and Twitter, we put some stuff up that should be fun. Usually it's related to the show. Hillary has her own Instagram. That's just her being Hillary.
Trying my best.
She's better at it than I am. Because
Am I?
mine's more show stuff. Yours is your stuff.
I still haven't figured out what a hashtag is.
Yeah, that's
Write
true.
in and tell me.
I just make jokes and hashtags.
Please explain things to me.
And you can also find the link to the website in the description. And you can send us a comment or a question so that we can do a mailbag.
Yeah. Cool.
And as always, thank you so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
We appreciate you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.